Welcome to another day of How to ABX, and today is 10/11/2023. It is Paralyze season, and today is Speed Hero Day. And unfortunately, I need to start doing a couple disclaimers, even though I've been doing these videos for a while for all the seasons, and I'll continue to finish out Paralyze season and do update videos in the future. This is how I play these characters. There are always different rotations and different teams and different ways to set up your characters. So let me show you the way that I do today. Today I'll be using a tier 4 Luna Snow with a Brilliant Rage. There are ways to try to keep her proc on. I find that basically saying spam makes the most sense because you're using 5, 4, 3 and delaying it as soon as it's ready. And if you do that, your procs usually stay on fairly decently. They can slip off, so there's different ways and different methods to go about it. So what I end up doing is spamming 2, 1, and 6 as soon as they're ready, and I'm only delaying 3 until she points at the sky. You want the ice to fall from her 3 skill. As long as that's happening, everything else is basically instantly cancelable. So that's the way I play her. Let me go ahead and show you her in action, and if you want to stick around to give you additional information like the team up and different options for today, just in case you don't have a tier 4 Luna Snow. Alright, so I'm going to use 5, and then I'm going to switch. And then I'm going to do a 1, 2, 5, 4, 3. She points at the sky, and as soon as 1's ready, or 2, I'm just going to hit them until I have 5 ready. Until 5's ready, basically, I'm spamming with the rest, and I'll slip in the other skills in between as soon as they're available. But I'm going to focus on that 5, 4, 3. That's my focus, and you can see the procs usually stay on fairly consistently. They don't always, though. So if they do slip off, they slip off. I don't worry about it. Some people do. I recommend with any character you try a rotation at least 5 times, especially spam characters like Luna. And just make sure that you're comfortable with the rotation and see if random had a factor on playing into why you scored high or low before you dismiss or jump on a new rotation. You might get lucky the first time you're in it. So he's about to jump center. 209 is usually about his roar time, so I'm going to pause for just a second here. As soon as he's targetable, I'm going to go right back into it. As you can see, I can cancel with my 4 and my 7. Might have canceled my 3 a little early there, actually, but right now she's on the path for doing a pretty high score. And don't worry about my team. We'll talk about the team. We'll talk about alternate teams because there are arguments and debates over what teams are best for Luna Snow. But as you can see here, pretty consistent. I'm just doing 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 5, 4, 3, 1, 2, 7, 1. Just as soon as they're on cooldown, waiting for the 1 and 2, then 5, 4, 3, 6, 1. Probably could have slipped the 6 before the 3 because I can instantly cancel it, and that wouldn't have affected anything. 216 is the second roar on Paralyze season. The other 2 seasons, it's 126 instead of 116. Did I say 216? I meant 116. 1, 2, 5, 4, 3. I could have done the 6 in there. That's fine. There's the cancel. With her being able to cancel, you don't need the striker for canceling today. I guess I can just go ahead and say it now, since you're probably watching the whole part, unless you're skipping ahead to the advice on the team up. And that's, you know, Black Widow is the best, for whatever reason, in ABX. Her clearing and her striking ability just comes in, wipes out the mobs, does a nice little boost. And for most of the teams that I've tried her on, I score more when I use her. A lot of people recommend using her over other strikers, even instinct match strikers, for all ABX days. So you just, again, experiment. Find what works for you. I have a tier 4 Rage Black Widow because I used to use her before Luna, even though she was basically meta because she was the first tier 4 speed female. And then once we started getting other options, a lot of the characters were starting to outdo her by a little bit, but Luna was just such a huge gap ahead of her, I decided to tier 4 Luna and replace her fully, finally. It's not that the other speed tier 4 characters were not worth building, it's just it wasn't enough of a jump up. So 15.7 million, not a bad score, definitely could be better. Part of that is because of my cards. Let me write that down, 157299115, because you gotta track your progress. Really quick, I'm just going to show my cards quickly, briefly. I'm not going to talk about them in detail, and I'm also going to show my swords, because again, like I say in every video, if you've been watching for a while, you hear me say this, I think it's important to know how somebody's account is built so you can determine why they're doing what they're doing with their account. Or if you're trying to compare, well, why are they scoring more or less than me? Because of their account build. Your account build affects your ability to do ABX. It has very little to do with skill. You could be perfect at running, and if your account's not built properly, you're going to score less than somebody who has a better built account and doesn't do the rotation as well. It's just part of the game. Here's Luna Snow's build really quick. Tier 4 Summer Lilac Seasonal Uniform. Mythic. Custom gear, brilliant. Like I said, it's rolled up to 300 here, and it's got the 1%, so it could be a little bit better, but re-rolling Brilliant Rages is not cheap, so I leave it alone. She only has a 3-star artifact. It is her artifact, but it's a +6. It's an instinct match, and she does do extra damage based upon cold resist, so having her artifact does help. She does have a POA. As long as it's an attack set, you're fine, and maxed out. We have her rank stuff here to 5 for her enhancement type. We're using Black Widow, like we said. She's probably one of the best strikers for ABX, and I tend to use her pretty much for all of my team-ups when I do ABX. Then over here, I have everything amplified. I have some Odin's Blessings. Not everything has an Odin's Blessing, but at least has a 6-star Uru, if I'm going to go the Uru route. Here's her overall stats. Everything that's important is built. That's the way my character is built. Now, let's go to the team-up options, different team-up options, and different characters you can use for today, based upon my opinion from gameplay. Let's see, Alliance Battle, Extreme, Challenge. So I'm using Fury's leadership. I do have his uniform, not that you need it, but with his uniform, he does have a 55 damage dealt to supervillains, which helps all hero allies. He also gives super armor and increases all basic defenses. Taking damage is more of an issue in ABL than it is in ABX, but I think Fury's leadership is an awesome choice here, and with the damage dealt that he also gives, damage dealt's like the creme de la creme. It's better than almost anything else as far as support and leadership abilities go. He increases all basic attack by 50%. It's not bad, and it's probably the best choice because of the team I'm using. White Fox only affects hero allies with leadership. And I point this out a lot because people don't understand this. If you go to Details page, under here, Abilities, there's a shield. If you click on that, Leadership. If they don't have this icon, White Fox does nothing for them. Luna does have leadership, and White Fox is probably one of the best supports in the game because, again, damage dealt, 65%. But wait, there's more. She also has my insight. It's always good to have an insight on one of your characters when you're running ABX or ABL. And there's more. Lifestyle Series 2 uniform, even though she does not need it, there are uniform effects. All superhero allies, thus Luna, would get 15% all attack, 10% chain hit, and ignore targets dodge rate by 30%. So all of that is stacked on. So basically what I'm saying is just this is an awesome team, and in my opinion, it's the meta team. Now, it is debatable, and if you don't have Fury or something, Shuri makes a great lead. She has 35% instead of 50, and she also has, with the uniform, 55% damage dealt. So there's that damage dealt again. So this is an alternate option. If you have White Fox, use White Fox with or without the uniform. And one other option, of course, is using Wave. This is probably not as good as using Shuri or Fury, in my opinion. She does have damage dealt. It's only 50%, and she does have a leadership. This is with the uniform. Pay attention when you're picking stuff. A lot of people recommend Misty Knight because of the cold damage. I find damage dealt does better, and all the experimenting that I have done, I score less personally with Misty Knight's leadership than I do with Fury. However, because so many people recommend Misty Knight, I highly recommend you do a Misty Knight run, compare it to a Fury or a Shuri or whoever you have as your secondary option. In my opinion, it's Fury, Shuri, and then Wave. But if you want to slip Misty Knight into there, do a comparison at least once to see if maybe you're having the same luck other people do. I think it might have something to do with my peers, and it seems like it's more of a factor in ABL. Either way, just know that she's there, and a lot of people recommend her. Now, you might be saying, well, what if you don't have Luna? Pay attention to some of the support lead options that I meant, because if you don't have White Fox, you could simply put Shuri in here if you have Shuri, and then you could do a Fury Shuri. So we talked about some of the support leads. I would avoid people like Maya Lopez unless you had no one else available, because that 60% basic damage is just not as good as the passive damage dealt that you have on a lot of the other characters. But if you don't have a Luna tier 4, you don't have Luna at all. If you don't have her Summer Lilac, her Light Sirius can do okay at tier 4, but you really do want her Summer Lilac. If you missed it, you got to wait till the next season. Spider-Man's PvP. Don't bother with Spider-Man here. Miles Morales with his newest uniform does great in World Boss Legendary. I do not see people having a lot of success with him in ABX. He might be thinking, what about Black Widow? Don't use Black Widow. If you have no other option, use Black Widow, but there's better options than Black Widow. Let's go ahead and talk about some of them. I would say the second best character to use for ABX would be Spider-Gwen at tier 4. Now, I don't have Spider-Gwen at tier 4, but I do have her Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse uniform, so that's a uniform you'd want to use with her. I've seen too many people use her and do too great to not call her the second best option for today. Just be aware that if you go to her account here and you go to her details, she has that leadership. So you are literally talking about the exact same teams that you're using for Luna. You would just swap Luna out for Spider-Gwen. So keep that in mind. That's why it's important to know who affects who. She's going to use the same teams. I would say after that, I would probably say Gamora tier 4. From what I've seen from other players, I don't have them tier 4. And Luna is definitely ahead of them. So I have Luna. I don't worry about the other ones, but taking feedback from other players, I would personally put it Luna with Summer Lilac tier 4, Spider-Gwen tier 4, and then Gamora tier 4. Marvel Studio Guardians of the Galaxy 3, as you can see here, the latest uniform on all of them. If you have none of those characters at all, then you're talking either Shadow, Shell, or maybe Black Widow at tier 4. Don't use Black Widow at tier 3. She's horrible at tier 3. At tier 4, she does okay. But it's just, I think I was doing 10 to 11 million today. Because, like I said, I just upgraded to Luna, so I got like a 4 million upgrade. So, yeah, she can do today. She can't use White Fox, so she already misses out on that. Luna's a much better option. So, anyway, hopefully that was helpful. And understanding how I built the teams and why, I hope gives you a little bit more information. Put some thought into the choices you make. Have a good one. As always, may your ABX scores be as high as possible, and I will catch you in the next one.